questionable. Both went through summer practice. Again, we'll see.
Did you kind of pass the point of worrying about being aggravating him with Kevin, or that's still required?
No, I'm not past that point. He's got to go through an individual workout today and then tomorrow as well, shoot around, see how that goes. I'm not ready to say he's 100%, so as long as he's not 100%, he's got to be cautious and make the right decision, so we'll see how he feels tomorrow.
Coach, when in the video that he wanted to go, you guys held him back as a question. What if he's going in, as the same, it's questionable for Saturday? What will kind of be the odds determining? What will determine?
100% health.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, if it was Game 7 of the finals, he'd play, right? Because we're not talking about anything that could damage his career. But what we're talking about is something that, if potentially could get worse and knock him out for a few weeks, then it's not worth it. But if it were Game 7 of the finals, you play him and you deal with, you got all summer to rest. How got to deal with the circumstances that we have.
How has he been in the play, but also kind of knowing what you're talking about?
He's frustrated, as you can imagine, especially coming off of 6 weeks of inactivity. He's dying to be out on the floor. He's one of the top few players in the entire league. It's been such a great year for the NBA. So much talk about, who's the MVP and this and that. He's used to being part of the discussion, and now he's been sitting. And now the discussion is about him sitting. It's not about him playing. That's frustrating for anybody, but especially for one of the best players in the league. So it's driving him nuts, but he knows this is the right approach.
We talked before how the energy changes so much in the series. What's the energy and atmosphere like up there? It's like a particularly tough place for visiting.
It is. I played there 1 year. Phenomenal home court advantage, great home crowd. They love their team. So I know how this stuff works. You go up 2-0 and the series is over, right? And you go to the other team's gym and they win one game and all of a sudden, oh my God, it's a series. Like as if that's like a revelation. Like, oh wait, we thought it was going to be a sweep. We just won 2 home games. That's all we did. So we know what's coming. They're going to bring their best shot. We got to be ready, bring it in.
Is there anything distinctive about their court advantage and just something huge about it?
There's noise. It's one of the louder arenas in the league.
Possibly on Lillard and McCollum, when you go back and look at it, why do you think you guys are so much more effective with 2 than 1?
We were more aware of our coverages. We did a better job with our bigs, helping. Did a better job in the paint of tightening up our shell behind the play. Our guards did a good job of trying to crowd them, and then they missed some shots. We know we could play the exact same defense, and they could still make a bunch of tough shots. That's who they are.
You put Klay Thompson on the field. He's guarding so many actions, but he only averages about 1.8 fouls per game. How good is he?
He's really smart about not reaching, and he's gotten a lot better since his first year, or since our first year coaching him. I remember he reached a lot more then, and I think he's been really diligent about using his body and his positioning and not reaching and not fouling. And to me, with his size and durability, he's one of the best on-ball defenders in the league.
Is it helpful that he doesn't seem to really chase steals and blocks?
Yeah.
His block and steal numbers are low.
Yeah, he doesn't take unnecessary gambles. And that's what we need from him, is just pressure on the ball, use his size and length, don't do anything crazy, and force the offensive player to make a tough shot.
This may sound pretty basic, but here, for one extra day in your offense and quick flight, is that a nice thing about
the extra day helps us, it helps them too, with Nurkic, but it helps us with KD and Matt and Sean. The extra day in your own bed or whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's, we're in the thick of it, and we're used to this in the playoffs, and at some point you got to fly away, but we're ready to roll.
I realize last year's series illustrates what you're saying. You guys went up 2-0, went up to Portland, lost game 4, I believe, the overtime game.
Right.
Learn anything from that experience, or just sort of, I guess that just shows what you're saying about that.
If we had a bunch of rookies who weren't used to the playoffs, that would help, but I guess that were the case, they wouldn't have that experience.
Right.
So that doesn't make sense. But we got veteran guys. They've been through so many series. They know how quickly things change. So it's you feel good about game 2, about the way you played, and you have to remember if you keep feeling good about it going into game 3, then you're in trouble. So stop feeling good about it.
Steve,
Get ready for the next week.
what have you noticed the team in this playoffs as compared to past ones you've been a part of?
No different. Just ready to roll. Just looking at the task ahead of us.
Is Joe, like a lot better than he was defensively earlier in the year? Just where is he defensively picking roles and some of that stuff? compared to just that?
He's better than he was earlier this year for sure. He's been locked in this series. He's been up on those screens, which is important to help on the guards. I think he's made improvements. He understands our schemes better, and he's done a great job.
Does it matter much distinct skill sets among your centers, or just the fact that you have 3 productive centers?
I like their distinctive skill sets because it allows us to pick which one we need, whatever the circumstance provides. So we can go any direction.
You went with JaVale in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Instead of Ozzy was back in. It was just a matchup.
Speed, and they're playing smaller without Murray, and so or without KD, obviously, without Sean, without Matt. Our options are kind of limited if we want to play small. We could have gone with Pat against JaVale had such a good run, and we liked the matchup in terms of who he's guarding, and obviously he was putting a lot of pressure on the rim at the offensive end, spacing and the lob threat. So that's why we went back to JaVale.
You're finding out how to going big after playing small the last couple of years. That was your advantage to go big.
I did not. I didn't even give it a second thought, but that's why you guys are good at what you do. Found it.
People talked a lot about giving up a lot to get Kevin Durant, but what it's shown so far is this bench is pretty deep and strong too. In past years, it was strength in numbers. Is it that again?
We've been lucky. We've had great benches here in the last 3 years. To be able to get guys like Barbosa and Spates and Brandon Rush. Now you get David West and Ian Clark and Zaza. I mean, what it shows is it's a lot harder to get Kevin Durant than it is to get bench guys. So you got to make that decision, but then you have to be lucky with free agency, and you got to be smart as an organization like ours was with Patrick McCaw. I mean, the fact that our management bought a second-round pick and found Patrick has really enhanced our bench. So, the fact that we got these superstars on the roster makes us great. The fact that we have a great management scouting department that can augment the bench in creative ways kind of completes it.
And what about a little bit of credit for you and the staff too, understanding what's the best way to use them, like even how you decided how to use David West later in the year or JaVale.
It's just our job, and that's what we're supposed to do.
Was it a puzzle?
It's always a puzzle. You got to work with combinations. We've always liked to play a lot of people here, keep them ready, look at different combinations in the regular season. Even if it costs you a game here or there, it's worth it because you get everybody prepared for the playoffs. You kind of know who works well together, and I feel that we're very comfortable now with our rotations, and individual players are comfortable with their roles.
JaVale was on the deal, make the team
Yeah.
in camp. Did you guys feel like you were going to keep him, or you just didn't know at that time?
I think we knew we were going to keep him right from the beginning of training camp based on what we saw the first 3 days. I mean, he gave us something so different, and we knew with the shooting that we have, the threat of the lob is so important. Eric Spoelstra used to call it vertical spacing. I would do games for TNT, and I talked to him beforehand. And he got anybody like JaVale, he would say, they got great vertical spacing. It's a great term, and that's what he gives us.
How come you really started to use him?
We were just playing around with lineups, and he needed to get in better shape too. Remember, he's hardly played the last couple of years, had injuries, and he needed more conditioning. We needed to see everything. We were playing around with lineups, and we found what we liked.
Thank you.
Thanks.